Can you believe that the PS4 came out 11 years ago? And yet, FC25 still released on it last September, the exact same day that it came out on PS5 with the exact same career mode features. That's like if FIFA 13 was released on the PS2. Oh wait, that also happened. I remember when old gen was the PS1. I remember when old gen was the PS2, but old gen being considered the PS4 is still weird to hear. Anyway, I've seen so many tweets from Ultimate Team accounts saying that old gen FIFA is better for Ultimate Team, but could that also be the case for career mode? Well, that's what we're going to try and find out today. And don't worry, I didn't have to try and search and find out where my PS4 was that still sounds like a jet engine, because last gen FIFA also works on current gen consoles, so you can play PS4 FIFA on a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. It's very confusing, isn't it? Anyway, so going into this, I've not actually played an old gen FIFA game since about 2021. I've only paid attention to the additions and the next generation versions of the game, and honestly, I have no idea what is going to be different when I press X to start the game. But after playing the game for a few hours, I was actually kind of shocked about what people are playing on the last gen. Were the graphics always this bad? Were the menus always this slow and clunky? Or are those just changes that FC25 decided to add? Well, it turns out it wasn't just the menus and the off-the-pitch gameplay that are slower. Going into this video, one thing that I was expecting to be different was old gen gameplay. This is the entire reason why people play Ultimate Team on the last generation, but things are even more different than I imagined. It turns out that EA's actually removed hypermotion technology from the last generation of the game. It's been totally removed, so that also means there's no volumetric data, and players don't really run and move like they do in real life, and definitely don't position themselves as well as they do in the newer games. Before I actually played the matches, I thought that maybe this would be an overrated change, and sure, there wouldn't actually be that much space and the players wouldn't be that bad at marking, but if we just look at this clip, you'll be able to see exactly what I mean. We win the ball back in midfield here, we get it forwards, and then look at the midfielders and look at the fullbacks movement. It's literally just the centre backs that are marking our striker, nobody else is even bothering to jog. In our team, our wingers aren't getting forwards as well, it's literally just the attacking midfielder and the striker. Player movement is just so bad on the old gen version of this game. Let's prove that this isn't just a one-off fluke and have another look at this, and when the AI attacks, none of our defenders try and get back. It's just our centre backs marking the striker, and honestly, it's really not very good. On this bit of play here, have a look at our left winger. He's slowly jogging forwards, marked by their right back, and there is absolutely no urgency from anyone. So you can cut back, you can pull it across, and really, yeah, I should have scored that chance, but I was kind of just trying to show off how bad marking is. It's still the motion captured animations that you would have got on like FIFA 17 to FIFA 20, the same animations are still being used. Okay, so let's try and prove my point here by watching a little bit of gameplay. And yeah, it's not great. It's still better than FC24, FIFA 23, or any of the earlier last gen games when it comes to gameplay in my opinion, but it's still nowhere near as good as the newer generation of games are on a PS5. Of course, gameplay is super important, but we're not done talking about it just yet. However, I did also find one thing that I believe actually makes the old gen career mode better, but I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Back to talking about gameplay though, and as someone who plays FIFA to try and make interesting looking videos that are quite entertaining to watch, the lack of animations did make the gameplay feel quite stale. I've also noticed that the AI will leave massive gaps when they're defending on the old generation, even on the harder difficulties that I'm used to playing on the new generation. The fact that it's easier to score goals but harder to defend is exactly why lots of Ultimate Team pros do all of their offline squad battles on Ultimate difficulty and on last gen. But for career mode, I think it's still probably a decision that needs to be made on a person by person basis. If you don't like the way that the AI defends on the new generation, then maybe do give last generation a go. But if you think it's already way too easy to score on the PS5 or your latest Xbox and PC, then probably last generation is not going to be for you. Personally, I prefer the smoother gameplay and the more animations that you get when playing on the current gen of consoles. And if I haven't already mentioned this, I probably should have done by now, if you do want to give this a go, every single person who owns FC25 on a PS5 already owns a copy of it for PS4. I'm pretty sure it's the same on Xbox too, but PC you can only get the new generation. It turns out that EA are actually one of the few companies that still offer this dual entitlement in 2025, which despite their many flaws, is actually a really impressive and very consumerist thing for them to do. That means that you can try this exact same comparison if you want to give it a go and if you don't believe any of the things that I talk about. Right, so we've talked about gameplay now for a while, so let's talk about the other career mode features. Is there actually a secret director of football mode on old generation FIFA? Are there playable youth leagues, more nations to scout, or better youth faces? Well, I'll disappoint you right now and tell you no. The game is basically the exact same, just with slower menus. You might not be surprised by this fact that they're exactly the same, but last year, old gen FIFA actually had the proper player walkouts before a game, while on new gen they fully removed them for that really quick cut animation. But now they're back on both. I think there isn't a single difference between the two games. The menus are harder to use, as I've mentioned. Sometimes it does take a few seconds for them to even open, and navigating around career mode is quite tough. But inside career mode, when it comes to actual career mode features, there's nothing missing. The tactic systems are exactly the same. You still can't move players to custom positions and make your own custom tactics. The academy still works in the exact same way. It has the updated nations and the new cranium player faces for youth academy players. The transfers are also exactly the same, with the exact same animations, the exact same market values, and every system works the same way. I mean, literally, the only thing that I noticed looks a little bit different is on last generation strand-based hair, it doesn't flop around quite as much as it does on the new consoles. But I mean, really? That's as good as it gets? I know I've spent now over 5 minutes of hating on old gen FIFA. Why would anyone actually want to play it though? And honestly, I can see why some Ultimate Team players do prefer the gameplay. The animations are way more snappy, you press a button and the thing happens. But like I said, I'm a YouTuber, I want the games to look good, so the animations do look really good on the new generation, so it's not something that I would sacrifice for that. You don't have to wait for the game to figure out what Haaland did in this situation back in a 2022 Champions League game, because it'll just play the animation that some guy recorded in a warehouse covered in ping pong balls. Because players feel more responsive, even if they do feel way less unique, that's something of a personal opinion that we can't really decisively compare. I really do think that it's hard to say if gameplay is better or worse on the old generations, but I'm leaning towards worse. Like I said, the menus being worse, the rest of the features being the same, and then gameplay being worse really does mean that EA has produced a better next generation game than the old generation. So, to now finally answer the title to this video, which I think I probably did about 2 or 3 minutes ago when I said it was all the same, no, old generation FIFA is not actually better than next generation FIFA. There are less cutscenes, there is worse gameplay, the graphics are worse, and there are no benefits that old gen has had over the past couple of years, like walkouts or a couple of other modes that have been in the last generation that aren't in modern FIFA. I am sure that some people watching this video will prefer last generation gameplay, so if you do that, then please do let me know why you like it more in the comments below. But anyway, if you'd like to watch some next gen gameplay, check out the video and the playlist that are on screen right now, and please, if you enjoyed this video, consider becoming a channel member. I really do appreciate it, but until next time, I will see you very soon. Cheers and goodbye.